Alright gang, we are going to talk about our 5.5a notes, triangle inequality properties. We're going to do a little exploration here, a little experiment, and see if we can figure out what we're supposed to know. The first thing I want you to do is write down our goal for the day. Our goal is to understand how sides, lengths, and angle measures are related in a triangle. So, what we're going to do is we're going to move down here. We're going to take this triangle right here. We're going to do a little kind of experiment. We're going to do some measuring here. The first thing it says is that using the triangle below, label the triangles, vertices, and sides like the smartboard. So what we have in our notes, if you could put an A on the top of your triangle and a B on the left side of your triangle and a C on the right side of your triangle. And then one thing I want to add to this is we have a shortcut for naming sides. The bottom of our triangle is side BC, but we can name that little a because notice that it is opposite of angle A. Angle A is on the top, and opposite of it is side little a. So we can name those guys opposites of each other. Lowercase a on the side, capital letter A on the angle. We can do the same with angle B. Opposite of angle B, which would be this guy way over here, we can call that little b. And then that means that we would take angle C right here, and we could call this guy over here side AB. We could nickname it little c. So those are the sides that we are going to put on our triangle. We have angles A, B, and C, and we have sides A, B, and C. Those are all opposite. Then what we're going to do is we are going to copy the angle degrees as shown on the smartboard. So what I did was I got my protractor out. Remember, we used this before. We measured our angle right here. And remember, we were measuring from the top, from the 0. So when I look at that angle, right here, I'm measuring from 0, and I measure up right here, and then I mark that angle on there, and it appears to be about 36 degrees. And then I took my protractor and I put it over here. And now again, I'm measuring this way. And remember, we have to start counting at 0. So now we would measure on the outside. And we're going to measure that angle. Well, I already did all of that. And so I want you to fill in those angle measures right there. So in angle B, notice that we're putting 36. In angle A, we're putting 98. Right here we have our 98 degrees. And in angle C, we have 46 degrees. So those are the three numbers. Remember, what would happen if I took my angles, 36 degrees plus 98 degrees plus 46 degrees, and I added all of those together? That should equal 180 degrees total. And then what they want us to do here is to measure the length of each side with a ruler, and then we're going to fill our information in on the table. So we have this ruler over here, and we measured it, and on the bottom I got this to measure, notice if we're measuring in centimeters, we're over here, and it looks like that is about 13.8 centimeters. Right in there. So right here we're going to put 13.8. And then I took the ruler and I spun it a little bit. And I measured my other sides. And because you're working at home, you don't have a ruler. But if we measure that guy, I have that to be about 8.4 centimeters. And then I did the same with the third side. Spun that guy one more time. Put it on right there. And I'm off a little bit on B there. Notice I don't have a corner there. So it's a little bit off. But that one right there turns out to be about 10 centimeters right there. So we're going to fill that in. And then our question would like us to fill in the table. And notice that that table is down at the bottom of the page. So what they want us to do is to order our angles from largest to smallest. So we're going to go from biggest to smallest. We're going to fill in our angles. We're going to fill in the letters and the measure. And then we're going to do our sides, and we're going to fill in the letter and the measure. Again, we're going to do that from biggest to smallest. So when I look at my angles, my largest angle is way up here at angle A. So we fill that in, angle A. Angle A equals 98 degrees. And then the middle angle is angle C right here. And that was 46 degrees. And then the smallest angle was over here at angle B. And that was 36 degrees. Then they want us to do the same for the sides. And so for our sides, our biggest side number was 13.8. And that side is BC, or we can nickname it little a. So we're going to call that BC, which equals little a, 13.8 centimeters. And then they want the middle side, right here, the middle side. So between the other two, we have 10 and 8.4. The 10 is the middle number. That's on the left. It goes from A to B, or we can call that little c. So we say that AB, which is equal to little c, is 10 centimeters. And then the last one has to be this guy right here. And we can say that AC, remember, it goes from the A to the C, AC, which is equal to little b, is equal to 8.4 centimeters. And from there, we need to decide if there's any conclusion that we can draw. And what we want you to notice is that the sides, the angles ACB have a pattern on the sides. Notice we have A, C, and B. The order of the angles from big to small matches the order of the sides from big to small. And so we're going to write here for our conclusion, the longest side is opposite the largest angle. Notice the longest side right here, side A, is opposite the largest angle. Go back to the picture one more time. The longest side is opposite the largest angle. They do not touch each other. I like to think of it this way. If I put a dot on the longest or the largest angle and I marked the longest side, notice that they do not touch each other. That's what we call opposites. Same is true for the shortest. We can say the smallest angle is opposite the shortest side. Get that copied? And then let's go back and look again. The smallest angle the smallest angle right here is opposite the shortest side right here. And again, I like to draw that dot. The smallest angle and the shortest side are related to each other. They're opposites. Notice that they do not touch. The black dot does not touch the black line. They are opposites of each other. So in a triangle, you can figure out what is the biggest and the smallest angle according to the sides, and you can figure out the longest and the shortest sides according to the angles. Everything matches up in their order. Now we have some practice problems. You can check out the next video if you need help with those, and then you can get started on your homework.